Hi, Richard.
Morning,
What?
Jan.
Morning. So the show opens next week. This time next week, we'll be building the show. All of those stands, all of those vehicles, all that big networking area, the seminar theatre. Oh, my heart's racing. How's your heart?
The same. It's really that kind of last stages, which is full of all those emotions, excitement, nervousness. But yeah, it's all coming together really, really well, really positive, and I'm really looking forward to being on site and networking with everybody again. It's come
Yeah,
around
it's
very
been really
quickly.
busy, eh? It's been really,
Yeah,
really busy.
has been. Yeah, it's come around really quickly. Come around really
Yeah.
quickly.
But we love it. We love it. We
Absolutely.
may be sitting rocking in a corner, but we absolutely love it. So,
Yes.
okay, let's get on to a little chat then about this year's show. So, tell us what makes the Movers and Storage so such a standout event in the removals and storage calendar.
I think the key point here is it's the only event that's independent, that's for both the removal and the storage sector. So it's the only opportunity to bring both those elements together in one place for a focused event around their that sector, those sectors. So it's that probably is the key factor.
Yeah. And how has the show evolved over the years, and what's new or different about this year's event?
The show's now in its 15th year, and it's grown. It's grown year on year every year. It's evolved. It very much reflects what's happening in the sector. So it's evolved as the sector's evolved. I mean, this year, again, over 30% of our exhibitors are new to the show. And we have a retention rate of 85%. So there's that stability as well as the new stuff. So, and it continues. And that's the goal. It's there to reflect the sectors it serves and be a gathering point for those people. So yes, it's a
Yeah.
positive.
And I think it's those conversations don't just happen, just in this final lead up to the show. The conversations happen from this year's show, ready for next year's show, and all through the year, really understanding what's happening in the industry and what the exhibitors want out of it as well, to make it work for them. Hence the retention and attracting all the new exhibitors as well, which is really exciting and will change the dynamics, I guess, of the show somewhat as well.
Absolutely, and the key thing to hear is that next week we'll have two fun-packed, exciting days, but that's part of an overall. This is about a continuous cycle, so it's not only about that. We do a huge amount through our social media channels. We're constantly engaging with that. We're constantly putting our exhibitors and our supporters in front of there. The website with the online profiles there and the ability to make appointments. So we see these 2 days are the culmination of a whole year's constant momentum. So and that's I think is really important.
Yeah. And so for those that haven't attended before, I know everybody in the industry has attended before, but imagine if they haven't attended before, how would you describe the atmosphere and the experience of the show?
I think from atmosphere, the energy is always amazing. This is an industry that's built on collaboration. It's very much people know people. People stay within this industry a long time. So there's a huge amount of that energy there. The show is unique in its size. It's ideally sized for a day visit. So you're not going to come and be overwhelmed with having to wander halls after halls after halls trying to find people. In that sense, it works really, really well. There's an opportunity to see everybody, key drivers in the industry, for over 1 or 2 days, renew those relationships, secure new relationships. It's just a very, very positive 2 days.
Yeah. Often when I'm walking around the show, that what people say the most is that it feels such a unique and friendly show. It's a really, really special atmosphere. And I think because it's unique and relaxed and welcoming, it enables business easier because you are just having a chat and exploring opportunities.
I think that's one of the most attractive things about this sector is there is this real feel of community, and the networking area is always busy, and and the amount of conversations you see taking place in the hours where people are reconnecting with people that they've met in the past or worked with in the past. So it's great to be part of that, and it's great to kind of help shine a light on that.
Yeah. So why should someone from the removals or storage industry make time to attend this year's show?
I think time's the critical word there. What the show offers you is an ability to consolidate a huge amount of research, travel, and activity into 2 focused days, or 1 focused day if that's what you can afford, that amount of time away from the office. So I think that's a real great benefit. The show also is great from the point of view of of education and seeing new insights, new innovations. It's also about planning, future planning. You can start to understand that and see what's happening in the industry. And probably most of all, and I would say this, it's really important that that the industry does show up, because if the industry doesn't show up, events like this won't take place, and that sense of together and networking and collaboration and community can kind of get lost. And in what is undoubtedly a really busy, frantic world we all work and operate in now, having that opportunity to take that time out, to maximise that time out, is, I think, hugely valuable.
Yeah, it is. Just imagine how long it would take to see all of those key suppliers, and the cost as well for traveling to different appointments. Actually, you can do this over 1 or 2 days of the show whilst you're learning as well, because there's that overwhelm, isn't there, of information and how quickly things are changing within the industry as well. So, yeah, and I know it's across many events now of the show up, because we do need events like this. Okay, so kind of very much related to that, really. What can visitors expect to take away from the event in terms of knowledge, connections, and/or opportunities?
Well, I'd say knowledge, connections are given, but it's also about renewing relationships, establishing new relationships, securing deals. At the end of the day, everyone wants to do deals and looking to do deals, and it's getting that insight of what the future looks like. Undoubtedly 2025 has been a challenging year for the sector. Economic downturns, global economic changes, all these things have had a knock-on effect, and this is an opportunity to take that pause and to start to plan, to make sure that you go into 2026 on the best footing, to make the most of what seems to be, hopefully, we're seeing the shoots of recovery, a period of bounce back for the sectors. So really important.
Absolutely. And again, I keep doing about this overwhelm, because I know when I've just had chats with people, it's like, I feel like I can't keep up, or where do I go for this? And I don't understand AI, past doing like a little video. So, coming to the show will actually kind of clear some of that mist around it and make it a little bit clearer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In times like this, there is that sense of feeling overwhelmed, and hopefully, I'm confident that from the show that you can kind of clear some of that haze and get that clarity, and that's what it's there to do, and do it in an environment where you're doing it with like-minded people, many people in the same situation, facing the same sort of challenges. So it's done in that collaborative spirit.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. And I think we often feel, are we the only ones that are kind of having this challenge? And then when you get into a conversation, whether that's at the seminar theatre or whether it's in the networking cafe lounge, it's like, actually, I experienced this. This is what I did, or this is who I went to that gave me a solution for that. So it just opens up different solutions, doesn't it, to really help your business going forward. So whilst we're talking about knowledge and overwhelm and where do we go for this and how do we do this and how do we plan for next year, are there any special networking sessions, live demos or workshops that the attendees shouldn't miss?
Yeah, I mean, one thing we pride ourselves on is putting together a seminar program which is free for attendees, and we make sure that that seminar program covers the diversity of what's happening in the market at the moment. So whether that be, you say about technology, unquestionably, and we'll probably talk about it again later in this conversation, technology is playing a huge part. AI is here, and it's only growing, and it's and with each day it's being used in different ways into enhanced businesses. So whether it's that side of it, whether it's products, whether it's services, it's all there under that one roof for those 2 days, with people, wanting to talk about it and wanting to share their knowledge and insights. So so the seminar program is hugely valuable, and I think is a real must to take a look at. And as I say, it's free. So, take this opportunity to thank all the speakers that, give up their time, and put the program together. That's a real strong element of the event, and something that's growing each year. I think next year we could well find ourselves having to run 2 seminar programs simultaneously, 2 seminar theatres at the same time. So absolutely, insight's critical.
And what feedback have you received from visitors that have visited the show in the past about how the show has actually benefited their business?
I think we get plenty, and I think if you follow us on social media, you'll always see testimonials on our social media posts from visitors. I guess one that springs to mind is that Tommy from Guardian Movers and Storage, he said to us, it's the first thing that he puts in his diary as soon as the dates are announced. It's a must. And I think that kind of sums up, because there is so much that can be achieved in 1 or 2 days at the show, that gives you so much insight and direction going forward. So but if you follow us on social media, it's constantly full of feedbacks, both from exhibitors as well, who see it's huge for launching products, for securing deals, and making new connections, alongside visitors saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned exhibitors. Let's talk about exhibitors and sponsors. How does the show help exhibitors connect with the right audience and generate the exclusive, meaningful leads?
So I think the first thing to say here is, the show is the culmination of a whole year's activity. Many of our exhibitors are on board from January and are working with us throughout the whole year. So, our website is designed to be an interactive tool, so they're with profiles and contact details. So hopefully people are coming to our website and making connections there. We introduced 2 years ago the ability for visitors to make appointments, so exhibitors can get some prearranged. And that's something we think is going to continue to evolve. And I think that's something that, we're already seeing. We introduced it a year or 2 years ago, but this year we've seen significant increase in the number of people making those pre-arranged connections. Our social media is 24/7, right? Everybody's social media, but we're constantly posting content. We're constantly talking about our exhibitors, our supporters and partners, and we encourage, one of the things we really do is encourage everybody to get on and get connected with that, and to use those tools for connections, and we're seeing huge numbers of reposts and clicks and likes, etc. And it's all about that brand and connections and connectivity, and that's something, as I say, that's key.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. It might be the Movers and Storers show page, but actually we do encourage people to engage with us and post on it, tell us what's happening, not just around the show time, but all year. What's the cliche? Be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. You need to keep your name out there, and we're offering that for free. So just engage with the social media. But then there's, we've had some great successes with newsletters that we've done, where it's like clicking, straight into the advertiser as well. So there's lots of opportunities, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll continue to develop and continue to evolve that, and we'll continue to put energy behind that. And we're also very happy to have conversations with how we can further support. So it's a two-way discussion. But as you know, as probably a lot of people know, 18 months ago we acquired the Mover magazine, which is the independent magazine that covers this sector covers this sector, and we're seeing further collaboration with that. Next year, we'll see even further collaboration as we bring those two things closer together, and we leverage the combined platforms that offers for both our exhibitors, our advertisers, if they're only in the magazine, but also for our visitors and our readers, that we get to optimize that, and they really become a focal point of information, knowledge, insight, and news.
Yeah, and what sticks out for me and what I really love as well is that it's not just here's the advertising rates. You know, we can create bespoke 360 packages dependent on which is the audience they want to get to, what do they want to achieve from it, and what's the budget as well. So we can, you know, tailor make everything. And I love that flexibility with both the Movers and Storers show and the Mover magazine working together to allow that to happen. It's fantastic, you know, really good.
And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons we brought the brands together is to give us that flexibility and to build, build campaigns, if that's the right word, that are bespoke for individual customers' needs across multiple platforms. Media is now very diverse, and and you need to be able to reflect that, and also, as you say, match that with people's requirements. So yeah, absolutely. And I'd say we've done a lot. We can continue to do more. We've got some big announcements coming up in the new year on that that are really exciting. But yeah, we will continue to drive that and to create the best platforms for as I say, exhibitors, advertisers, readers and visitors, and for the industry.
Yeah. So going back to the show then, what kind of companies and brands can visitors expect to see exhibiting at this year's show?
I could start to roll off the 70 plus exhibitors' names, but that's probably going to prove a little bit
that'd be a real test, wouldn't it?
Yes, yeah. That's probably the truth, down it. But yeah, no, there's everything from vehicle, from the coach builders through to the vehicle manufacturers, who are very heavily into the sustainability agenda at the moment, through, talked about earlier on, AI, lead generation, how to optimize lead inquiries, from packaging products and services, through insurance. It's the broad church. It truly is, in my opinion, it's the capsule of the industry, all in one place, under one roof.
Yeah, and recruitment specialists there as well to give advice and to help with that as people move about all the time. So,
and again, and that's been a challenge this year, recruitment, retention. So having people there talking about that, having people there sharing that knowledge, is hugely valuable.
So what opportunities exist for sponsors to align their brand with the show's audiences and values?
We always have, and see you proudly wearing your lanyard.
I am.
We always have great interest in that brand extension, enhancing, enriching, and the lanyard is one of those. The tote bags or bags, the visitor bags. I'm amazed how often I see those away from the show. So there's a huge range of there, and again, what we try to do is provide us broader range of solutions for individual companies to optimize their brand presence and their awareness and their connections. So there's always a strong desire for that, and a strong support, and we thank those companies that kind of embrace that and support it.
Yeah. So what do you think, and I know we've covered this a little bit in the thread of the conversation, but just really succinctly, what do you think makes the Movers and Storers show a uniquely valuable platform for exhibitors and sponsors compared to other events?
All right. I think I go back to the point I made earlier on. It's the only platform that brings both the removal and storage industry together. It's independent, so everybody in the sector is welcome and is encouraged to be there. And
outside the sector as well, I guess now, as like different landowners and farmers and different businesses outside of the sector may be looking to diversify, that they've got land that they're not using that's costing them money, where actually that may be a valuable revenue stream if they have the knowledge to do that. So we welcome those as well, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's diversity taking place within the sector. So we're seeing more of that. And again, I refer back to the seminar program. We have people talking specifically at the seminar program about that diversity. But as you correctly say, yes, there's diversity from outside the industry, people coming into the industry and doing that. So this is this is a unique opportunity to be amongst your peers in an environment that's designed to encourage engagement and connections and discussion and see all that in one place. And as I say, this kind of opportunity, this opportunity only comes around once a year, and so it's a real key milestone in the calendar and a really important one.
Yeah, I agree. So what trends or emerging themes are you seeing across the removals and storage industry right now?
So we've touched on it on tech is huge, whether that's AI, whether that's how that tech AI is driving business efficiencies, operating processes. Sustainability is a big topic and remains a big topic, and you'll see lots of solutions for sustainability. I touched on the fact that we have the vehicle manufacturers like DAF and Iveco and Renault and Pelican, all there talking about the future, of that, and some of that's a bit further down the road, but the discussion needs to be taking place now. And then through lead generation, it's growing in lead generation, but the sophistication of lead generation, and we're starting now to see people put lead generation together with planning and providing more for both the consumer and then the company. Optimizing. Are you optimizing your activity? Again, that marketing element. So we've got seminar sessions and companies again supporting that, talking about how to optimize that and how to maximize that. And then, of course, we've got a plethora of new products and services on show, across all those sectors we talked about earlier on, whether it be vehicles, whether it be packaging, whether it be storage solutions. It's all there.
Yeah. So how important do you think collaboration and community are within the sector, and how does the show help foster that?
Well, the show shines spotlight on the sector, and for 2 days under one roof, you've got this amazing collection of people. You've got this hugely positive energy because everybody's there to share and connect and collaborate. So I think it's vital. It's built on, the sector's built on a community ethos. So it's a vital platform to be able to do that and to be part of that. So to me, it's an obvious must attend event.
Yeah, and people buy off people as well. So to foster those relationships and be seen and nurture those relationships is actually, in my opinion, key to driving a successful business as well. Trust, absolutely. Integrity, and a true relationship between buyer and supplier, really.
Yeah, what we want people to walk away from the event, having been to the event, feeling energized, feeling positive about their industry, feeling positive about the outlook, having gained some knowledge and insight they didn't have, which is going to help shape and drive that, having orders in the book, having orders in the pipeline, having made new connections and started to develop new relationships, which are going to further their businesses going forward. And that's what this is really about, is that opportunity. And that's why I feel it's a must attend opportunity.
Yeah. And also we foster that collaboration and community with the exhibitor drinks after the first day of the show, which is always very popular, and a lot of business is done over that drink.
Absolutely. No, it's great to be part of that and to kind of, I say, let my hair down, which sadly those days have long past, but it's great to be part of that on that first day. So yes.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Mr. Richard Pegler and behind the scenes of the show. What's your favourite part of organising the Movers and Storage show, Richard?
That's a really difficult question because it changes with the seasons almost. So as we get closer and the pressure, as you said earlier on, I found myself rocking myself to sleep at night. It kind of it changes. But obviously one of the great things for me is I get to work with a great team, and I've got a great team of people that share the same energy and enthusiasm for the sector. We get to work with amazing partners who are truly supportive and bring ideas forward and help drive our evolving and evolution. And then it's seeing that positive energy, I guess, as we build. This time next week, it'll be controlled chaos, but it'll be controlled. And it's then seeing it build, and then it's seeing 2 days and feeling that I'm probably too old to use the word vibe, but feeling that vibe and that energy in the hall is tremendous. And seeing people leave having been, energized, having learned something new, having got insights they didn't think they had before, having got order books full, it's just huge privilege to be part of that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so moving on then from that, can you share a memorable story or a standout moment from any previous show?
I guess one that stands out for me is seeing Elvis doing the Packer of the Year. That was pretty amazing. And talking of Packer of the Year, I get a huge sense of achievement when I get to, come along at the end of everybody's hard work and get to shake the hands with this year's winners and present the prize. And we've got a biggest prize fund that we've ever had this year, with a big £250 cash incentive, trophies, and support of people like the Bill Group with branded skates and other alu trolleys, etc. Editorial coverage in the Move magazine. But it's a great sense to stand there on that stage and shake hands with a team that have won that, and it's great to see the joy it brings for those winners. So yeah,
and also there's some great exposure for it. I mean, happy to move the current title holders of that particular competition, and that their exposure has been elevated no end, and they've really enjoyed the year from speaking to them. So yeah, really good. And do you know what comes across? You hear people like saying, "Steady, easy. You've only got to put a few boxes into a container." Do you know what? I think they should just put the money where the mouth is, and let's see it in action then, because it takes real skill and experience to do that.
Yeah, Andy from the Britannia Reeves team, each year, tweak and tinker with it to make sure it stays fresh. I get to see it be unpacked, and I get to see them practice packing it. And I always get asked each year, which is the year you're going to have a go at it? And I always disappear into the background. It takes a huge amount of talent. And, and to your point, Manny and the guys, they're back, they want to defend their crown. So, and that's great to see. But, and we still have, there still is at this moment in time, we still have a couple of slots available on the Tuesday. But yeah, it's a good, fun activity. And as I say, there's a nice package of prizes there to be won. So yeah, that's always a good day.
Okay, well, we're rapidly running out of time. So let's finish with, finally, what would you say to someone that's maybe sitting on the fence about whether they should attend or not? And you've probably got, 2 minutes to answer that question before we're timed out?
Perfect, because that's how long. Yeah, it's really simple. It takes just 2 minutes to register for the show, and it's free to register. And I'm confident you will get so much value from 1 day or 2 days there. There's so much to see, learn, and discuss. And if you're not there, you really are missing out. As we move into 2026, this is the first positive step to 2026. So it's a must attend, and takes 2 minutes to register.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it. Yeah, you touched on it before. If you feel like I'll go to the show and I'll be wandering around, you can actually pre-book any appointments of those key exhibitors that you just need to go and speak to those. So even that can be like finely tuned. So yeah. Yeah,
you go into the website, onto the show website, go onto the exhibitor profiles and plan your day and pre-arrange those appointments to make sure you see those ones you want to see. But as I say, 2025 has been a tough year. 2026, we're seeing, shoots of recovery and optimism. This is best thing you can do pre-2026 to make sure you're in the best shape going into 2026. And we we look forward to welcoming you, as do all our exhibitors on site. We're there, we're all part of this together, and let's push forward.
Fantastic. Well, I for one am really excited about it. I know you are, and speaking to our exhibitors and sponsors and partners, they're really excited about it too. So yeah, see you all next week, and thank you very much for your time, Richard.
Cheers, thank you. See you shortly.
Okay,
Cheers, bye.
bye.